One dirty spoon at a breakfast buffet might not be a big deal, but if you start seeing spills and janky food all over the place, then you might lose your lunch before you've even eaten lunch. If you encounter lots of spills, crumbs, disorganized food trays, and dirty utensils, chances are you won't be able to find the food very appetizing. At a self-serve breakfast buffet where numerous guests handle food, tongs, and other utensils, cleanliness is clearly of the utmost importance. It may be impossible to keep things perfectly spick and span 24/7, but employees should take care to keep things looking good whenever they can. One of the biggest issues with a messy buffet area is the increased risk of cross-contamination. Using dirty utensils or spilling food from one tray to another can potentially cause allergens to transfer or even introduce bacteria from improperly handled items. Poorly maintained sneeze guards and uncovered food can also contribute to an unsafe dining environment. If you notice these issues, you can rightfully question whether the kitchen itself adheres to basic hygiene and food safety standards.
This is unacceptable! Unacceptable!
Keeping food at room temperature for extended periods can be highly dangerous, as it creates ideal conditions for the rapid growth of harmful bacteria. The temperature range between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit is known as the danger zone, as it's particularly conducive to bacterial proliferation. Within this range, bacteria can multiply quickly and potentially reach levels that cause foodborne illnesses in just 2 hours. At buffets, this risk is amplified due to the volume of food on display and the frequent handling by numerous guests. Without proper temperature control, even high-quality dishes can quickly become unsafe to eat. Thus, buffets must use appropriate equipment such as chafing dishes, heated trays, and ice beds to keep food within safe temperature ranges. Staff should routinely check the temperatures of both hot and cold dishes with food thermometers and adjust equipment or replace items as needed. The consequences of neglecting temperature control can be severe, ranging from mild stomach discomfort to serious illnesses that require medical attention. Vulnerable populations such as young children, the elderly, pregnant people, and individuals with weakened immune systems are especially at risk. Improper temperature control also compromises the quality and appeal of the food. Hot dishes become soggy or dried out when not properly heated, while cold dishes lose their freshness and texture. Buffets are required to follow strict health guidelines to ensure the safety of their diners, and clean serving utensils are a cornerstone of these standards. When utensils aren't properly cleaned or replaced often enough, it reflects poorly on the buffet's overall hygiene practices, thereby raising concerns about how other aspects of food preparation and service are handled. If guests can easily spot dirty utensils, they may wonder whether kitchen employees are maintaining clean workspaces, properly storing ingredients, or following safe food handling procedures in general. When utensils are left unwashed for extended periods, food residue accumulates, creating an ideal environment for the growth of bacteria that can cause food poisoning. Additionally, if a single utensil is used to serve multiple dishes, allergens can be unintentionally spread between foods, thereby further increasing the risk of contamination. In addition to the health risks, unwashed utensils also just make for an unpleasant dining experience. If your forks and knives are sticking to your fingers because of some mysterious residue, there's no way you'll have a pleasant breakfast, no matter how delicious the food is. Instead of enjoying your eggs and pancakes, you'll be left wondering if the whole place is overrun with goo and germs.
I think I'm gonna throw
Don't
up.
throw up. An assortment of fresh out-of-the-oven breakfast pastries is a hallmark of a quality breakfast spread. So if you arrive at a breakfast buffet only to find pre-packaged pastries, or even worse, stale muffins, rock-hard bagels, and soggy croissants, it might just be enough to convince you to get back in your car and head back home.
It's like thanks, but no thanks.
A top-notch buffet manager understands that many people like to start their day with a fresh cup of coffee and their favorite baked goods. So if these items are past their prime, it signals a lack of care for the guest experience. And it could mean that the buffet is reusing items from previous days or not storing them properly. Plus, if the baked goods aren't fresh, it raises questions about the quality of all the other offerings. Questions that you may not want to find out the answers to. A superlative breakfast buffet should offer an assortment of egg dishes, ideally including a freshly prepared omelet station. In the absence of a made-to-order station, already cooked scrambled eggs should be kept warm and have a fluffy texture. If instead you find cold eggs sitting out at room temperature or rubbery eggs sitting under a heating lamp, then it may very well indicate potentially unsafe, improper food storage practices. Eggs kept at unsafe temperatures fall into the danger zone where illness-causing bacteria can thrive. Additionally, the texture and flavor of eggs degrade significantly when they're reheated improperly, making them unpleasant to eat. When eggs are cold or rubbery, they've likely been sitting out for too long, or they were possibly improperly cooked from the start. A well-maintained buffet should prioritize preparing smaller, fresh batches of eggs, which helps to ensure a standard of health, safety, and satisfaction. Unlabeled, mysterious meats at a buffet can be a major red flag for several reasons. First and foremost, without clear identification, diners are left guessing about what they're eating. This is especially problematic for individuals with dietary restrictions, allergies, or ethical preferences, like those who avoid certain meats due to their religious beliefs. A reputable buffet should avoid such experiences by clearly labeling all dishes. This helps build trust and shows that the establishment values its guests' health and overall experience. Mystery meats also raise broader concerns about the quality and sourcing of the food. The lack of transparency might suggest that the buffet is relying on lower quality, highly processed meats, or that it mixes in leftover cuts to save costs. These meats are often overly salted, seasoned, or marinated to mask their origin, age, or flavor deficiencies. This practice not only reflects a disregard for quality, but also hints at a potential compromise in food safety standards or a lack of commitment to providing high-quality ingredients.
I probably should have mentioned before that I don't eat meat.
The quality of fresh fruit often serves as a reflection of a buffet's overall approach to food preparation and presentation. Beautifully maintained displays demonstrate a commitment to excellence, whereas bruised and blemished fruit signals a broader lack of care. Subpar platters are a telltale sign that the produce is either past its prime or that management simply doesn't care. Fresh, high-quality fruit should be vibrant and visually appealing. These qualities not only enhance the aesthetic experience, they also signal freshness and care. Low-quality fruit, on the other hand, suggests that the buffet might be cutting corners. Perhaps it was sourced at a discount, or it was already near the end of its shelf life. Or it might indicate poor storage practices like inadequate refrigeration or improper stacking. Neglecting to inspect and rotate inventory regularly can also result in spoiled or unappealing produce. Improperly handled cut-up fruit poses potential health risks, as bacteria can accelerate spoilage and possibly lead to foodborne illnesses. Pancakes and waffles are often associated with comfort, warmth, and indulgence, and their appeal lies in their simplicity when prepared well. They're meant to be light, airy, and golden brown, offering a delicate balance of texture and flavor. The preparation of simple items like these can serve as a barometer for a breakfast buffet's overall quality and attention to detail. If a buffet can't deliver properly cooked pancakes or waffles, it reflects a potential lack of care and training. This issue often arises when buffets prioritize speed or volume over quality. In some cases, pancakes and waffles may be prepared in large batches ahead of time and left sitting under heat lamps for extended periods. While this approach allows the kitchen to churn out food quickly to meet demand, it sacrifices freshness and texture. Heat lamps or warming trays can further dry out the food, thereby making the problem even worse. Ultimately, well-prepared basics showcase a commitment to excellence, even in the simplest dishes. A reputable buffet ensures that these items are freshly made, served promptly, and kept at the right temperature to preserve their quality. A well-managed buffet prioritizes timely replenishment to ensure that guests can enjoy a full range of options without having to wait. When platters are left empty or take too long to be restocked, it disrupts the experience and creates a sense of disorganization and neglect. A well-run buffet should have staff continuously checking and replenishing dishes to ensure that there's always a plentiful selection available. When platters remain empty for long periods, it signals that the kitchen and dining staff aren't efficiently working together to maintain the flow of food. Slow replenishment can also be a sign of poor inventory management or a failure to anticipate demand. Moreover, prolonged delays or empty platters can point to issues like understaffing, lack of training, or ineffective management. And in those stressful conditions, it's not easy to keep things tasty. Beverages are a key part of breakfast, as they often set the tone of the entire experience. So if the only drink available is a single flavor of watered-down orange juice, it's a huge missed opportunity to elevate the whole experience. It's pretty much essential to offer several delicious juice options alongside coffee, tea, and water. If that wide selection also includes seasonal or local flavors, it's clear that this buffet is committed to variety and customer satisfaction. And if your buffet has a liquor license, don't forget to whip out the mimosas.
I'm ready to party!
Only offering the most basic drink menu may seem like just a tiny slip-up, but it's often those small details that make the biggest difference. If there are too many overly processed or artificial foods on display, it undermines the authenticity and quality of any breakfast buffet. Diners expect buffets to showcase a diverse selection of freshly prepared, flavorful options that are thoughtfully crafted and not just sugary cereals that they could easily buy at the grocery store. When buffets rely on cheap, processed ingredients, it sends the message that they're cutting corners or just not invested in delivering a memorable experience. While tight budgets are an unfortunate reality in many dining establishments, you can end up shooting yourself in the foot if you go too far trying to save a few bucks. Buffets are known for their variety and abundance, so it's not a huge deal if there is a cereal bar, just so long as it doesn't come at the expense of the quality and integrity of the rest of the food. Another issue with heavily processed foods is that they often lack the freshness and texture that ensures a memorable dining experience. Freshly cooked dishes like fluffy scrambled eggs or baked breads have a lightness and flavor that simply can't be replicated by frozen, packaged, or artificially flavored items. When guests encounter a buffet full of overly processed food, don't be surprised if they don't ever return.
I'm never coming back.
Buffets are expected to cater to a wide range of people. Thus, failing to provide clear accommodations for guests with common food allergies or intolerances is a huge no-no. Allergies aren't just dietary preferences, they're serious health concerns that can result in severe or even life-threatening reactions if someone eats something they're not supposed to. Buffets that don't clearly display or label their allergy-friendly dishes put guests at risks of accidental exposure to allergens, such as nuts, dairy, gluten, shellfish, or soy. Cross-contamination is always a major concern in buffet settings, as utensils, serving trays, and preparation areas may inadvertently introduce allergens into foods that should otherwise be safe. Buffets that prioritize guest satisfaction should make the effort to accommodate all diners by providing safe and clearly labeled options. On the other hand, establishments that fail to do so demonstrate a lack of accountability, transparency, and professionalism.